It was about 1 hour ago that I ate the smallest sliver of a marijuana brownie that you could possibly imagine. And I am totally and completely under the influence right now of that beautiful herb, which opens humans to a more observant lifestyle. It felt great. I put on some Louis Armstrong music. Portrait of the artist as a young man. And he's playing the trumpet. He's got a mute on. Alright, it was a little bit bigger slice than that. I need a hand for a hand for visualization purposes, and you can see how much I have. Oh man, it's powerful stuff. But of course, with marijuana in brownie form, you are receiving a much larger percentage of the available THC that's within the herb. Because what happens when you burn it, which is damaging to the lungs, as we all know, and then inhale it, because any smoke inhaled into your lungs is going to burn the cilia that line the lung cavity. That's why people who smoke cigarettes get sick more often, because they burn away those cilia, and what those cilia are designed to do is to catch dirt and whatnot from the environment and get it into your lungs and clouding the lining of your lungs, and then that, I'm guessing, would probably obstruct blood flow, and then that area doesn't get enough oxygen, and then what happens when the body doesn't get enough oxygen? We all know it dies. So anyway, that part of the lung dies and creates cancers. I mean, I think that's how it goes. Anyway, I know that the cilia, much like the hair in your nose and ears, are designed to keep out smoke and other dangerous things. What was I saying? I have no idea. But I was explaining the toxicity. Toxicity. Yeah, I don't know. It's not toxic. No one's ever died from it. Obviously, we know that. Well, they may have died by getting themselves in a dumb situation, like driving too fast for conditions or something like that. But you can't overdose like you can on heroin, or if you're injecting cocaine, methamphetamine. Do people OD on methamphetamine? I don't know. I would imagine, because if it stops the heart because it's beating too fast, and then they have a heart attack. Anyway, when you eat marijuana, that's what my point was. So when you burn it, you're burning a lot of the THC away, okay? But when you eat it, first you cook the marijuana buds to a certain temperature. I can't remember it right now, but there's a really great Canadian website that tells you that exact temperature. I've got it bookmarked. Probably shouldn't tell you that, because then you can invade my files and find my bookmark. But I'd be happy to share the bookmark on my MySpace at www.myspace.com/lyricsunstoppable. LYRICSUNSTOPPABLE. Lyrics Unstoppable. You can't stop them. Can't stop the power of lyrics, but I'm not going to get into that right now because I'm no Chuck D. If only that I were the wordsmith that he is. Anyway, I mean, if you can spit mad fire like that, his punctuation and his pronunciation, they're so precise. It's quite nice. Anyway, as you can see, what was I saying? Oh, so you cook the THC in the actual buds in the oven. You bake it at a certain temperature for about an hour, and what that does is unlocks the resin. I'm not sure of the science behind it. Once again, I can check online, but unlocks the resin so that our stomach enzymes can digest that resin, and then it gets into the bloodstream. Okay, so it's a slower process. I mean, when you inhale it into your lungs, that's the same thing that's happening. It's trying to get into the bloodstream, and so it affects your bloodstream and affects it gets into the certain region of your brain that it like integrates with. We have neurons and whatnot, and they have neuron receptors. That's what they call them. And when those neuron receptors are stimulated, you feel certain things like love and hate, and you feel, well, those are the two most base emotions, I think, something like that. Love and fear. Hate is derived from fear, I don't know, something like that. But so it stimulates your receptors that you have for THC, and then you feel this way, whatever way you yourself feel on THC. Some of us are moved by it. Some of us are moved to being more loving and being more happy about their present situation in life, like I am. When I think about how great my life is, when I think about how beautiful my wife is and how much I love her, and then I realize, we're constantly thinking about the future and worrying about the future and not enjoying the time we have with each other. And I mean, I think people are like that in general. We all work too much. How much do you have to have in the bank, right? Like, how big does your house have to be? We should take time off and relax together with a person we love, right? Live in a shack, right? Like live in the smallest apartment that you're comfortable with, right? Get rid of your stuff, cram it in. It doesn't have to be clean, like, yeah, we don't want to have fleas and things like that, and I'm going to try to keep the pathways clean, but if things get a little dusty, well, anyway. So when you bake it at a certain temperature, because you're not burning it, but you're overcooking it when you smoke it. But when you bake it, you can get all that THC. You get a lot more THC, something like 85%. But when you smoke it, you only get like 3 to 7%. Is that right? Something like that? No, maybe 15%. Somewhere. Anyway, you can see it's a significant jump in numbers. It's like 6 times as powerful, at least, if not 10 times as powerful. I'd have to look up the research once again, because I don't have it all. Yeah, it's a slower process, but you feel it more intensely, right? That's what the point I was trying to get around to. You feel it more intensely, and I just ate that tiny little bit, and I felt great. I'm baked. Baked. Bake it, man. Don't smoke it. Bake it.